Crimson Trace now offers a complete line of electronic sights, ranging from a fixed magnification battle sight to reflex sights with the latest power management features. Purpose-built and versatile. Find yours at crimsontrace.com.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, raising awareness for a cure through social media and shooting challenges. Plus, reasons to carry a gun every day, new carry legislation in Louisiana, and much more. As always, call 866-TALK-GUN with your comments, questions, and range reports. And now, here's Tom.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun today. Hey, I'm Tom Gresham. I'm your host. Yes, it's Gun Talk. If you'd like to join us, write this down, make a note, try to remember it some way, any way you can. The number here, 866-TALK-GUN, or honestly, it's just easier this way. And you can remember this one, Tom Talk Gun. How easy is that? That's how you get in here. If you hear something you want to comment on, if you hear something you think, they're wrong, I have to tell them they're wrong. Okay, call me. Let me know what we did to mess that one up. 866-TALK-GUN or Tom Talk Gun. We have a lot of things to talk about. We're going to be talking about constitutional carry, making its way across the country. 16, maybe 17 states now have it. Another one looking at doing that. And frankly, talk about a little bit about the pushback. Got some pushback from concealed carry instructors on constitutional carry. Question for you is that a legit concern, or is it people worried about losing their paycheck if people are not required to take their concealed carry class? Ooh, you didn't go there, did you, Tom? Yes, I did. Oh, man. We have a lot of things to do. And we'll be talking about some of the guns we've been buying. Get your range reports on anything that you have taken out to the range, been shooting. Love to get that, whether it's long-range shooting or self-defense gun or a new holster or a new belt or a new rig. Anything you want to tell us about, 866-TALK-GUN. Alrighty, we talk guns and things a lot. And one of the things I have said for many, many years is we can use our Second Amendment community, our gun owner community, to do good because we are the good guys. We're the good gals. Joining me right now is a good friend, a longtime friend for Gun Talk and for Shooters Everywhere. Julie Golob joins us. Hey, Julie, how are ya?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Julie is a professional shooter, Team Smith & Wesson. I think, are you captain?
Technically, yes. But,
technically, I love that. Well, technically, yes. Not blowing my own horn, but yes, I am the team captain here. Been shooting competitively for 25 plus years at this point. And winning all over the place. Primarily pistol shooter, handgun shooter, right?
Primarily, yes. When it comes to competing, that's my forte. But I won't turn down anything with the trigger.
Yeah, it is interesting that way, and it doesn't really matter. It's like, okay, you shoot for Smith & Wesson, so you get to do handguns, revolvers, and all. But if somebody said, "Oh, here's another brand of shotgun," yeah, sure, let's go do that. I don't, It's like Rob Latham will shoot anything, you will shoot anything, Max Michelle will shoot anything because you guys are all shooters. That bottom line, you're shooters.
It's true. I mean, and if it's got a trigger, we'll pull it, and we love it. It's what we're about.
especially if somebody else will provide the ammo.
Well, there is that.
There is that. Yes, there's that part of it. Yes, a given. But we want to talk about something that is even, if anything is possible, this one is even much more dear to your heart. And it does involve shooting, but it's much bigger than that. So I'm going to get out of the way and let you tell the story.
Sure. Well, back in August, we have two daughters, and our oldest one, she's 11, was diagnosed with a very rare disease. And it was a very eye-opening experience for us as a family. It took a little bit of time to get used to, a lot of life changes at home. And it's called juvenile dermatomyositis. Probably took me a month to be able to say that because it's a really long medical term. But in this discovery of what she has and how hard it is to find information and the fact that there isn't a lot of medical work being done in the way of research and funding, kind of sparked an interest in me thinking about how I could help raise awareness and, help boost some donations for the Cure JM Foundation, which is the Juvenile Myositis Foundation that is helping not only families like us, but families all around the country.
Give me an idea, for those of us who have no idea what this disease is you're talking about. What is it? What does it affect?
it presents as these kind of unique skin conditions. So there's rashes on the face and bumps on the fingers. The tips actually turn pretty red, little calcium deposits across the body. But what happens underneath the skin is what's really serious, because the immune system starts attacking the individual capillaries of the muscles, and they become inflamed. And if left untreated, you can have muscle weakness, muscle damage, and it can even be life-threatening in some cases. So aggressive treatment and with a lot of steroids and chemotherapy drugs and things called immunoglobulin intravenous stuff. There's so many medical things. It really helps to control the immune system and get it back into where it normally is for the rest of us, with a goal of remission for a lot of kids within 3 to 5 years.
Wow. Okay. So what's the plan? What are you doing?
So aside from, battling what we battle here at home, I put together a fun little shooting challenge as a kind of way to get the community involved. And it's just a 23-round little challenge that you can print and download off my website at juliegolob.com/curejm. And 23 is the number of letters in that very long disease name. So I kind of created this shooting challenge to, represent the journey, if you will, of what it's like to be a juvenile dermatomyositis patient and, of course, raise awareness.
Okay, and let me just give that up for those who want to find it right now. It's Julie Golob, JuliegGolob.com/curejm if they want to go to that. But they also can go to your website and see all the things you're doing. So, all right, so when people go do the 23-round drill or shooting event that you put together there, what happens? How does this encourage people to get involved and maybe throw a few dollars in the pot?
Well, the suggested donation is $23 for each time you shoot the target, or if you hit the center of each little individual shape on the target, there are 5 different shapes, you can make a donation for that amount. And, of course, the goal is to share it using the hashtag AIM2CureJM. That's AIM, the number 2, CureJM. And I've been following it. A lot of people have already been shooting it and sharing it. And and this is awesome, the CureJM Foundation, a lot of charities out there will not touch anything related to firearms. They are phobic, but they have not only been so supportive to me personally and our family, but they are out there thanking people and celebrating, and it's awesome.
That's terrific, and I've always said we in our community don't get credit for doing the good things. I like the old definition of public relations, which is doing good and getting credit for it. We generally do the first and don't do the second that well. So I'm really glad to hear that they have, welcomed your efforts here and welcomed the efforts of fundraising from the shooting community.
It's fantastic, and we've even our family set up the Aiming to Cure JM GoFundMe page that directly links to the Cure JM Foundation, and that link is also on my website for a direct donation. It's really easy to just shoot the target, share it, and if you'd like to donate, you can go to bit.ly/AIM2CureJM with the number 2 in there, and you can help us out.
Okay, sounds great. I would encourage people to go take a look at that. Can we get you to hold for a minute, and we'll come back, we'll talk some shooting stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're talking with Julie Golob. If you'd like to join us, if you have a question or a comment or on this or anything else you'd like to ask her about, because this is a chance to talk to a world-class shooter. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN or Tom Talk Gun. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk. When someone leaves you their gun collection, you may want a few, but what do you do with the rest? How do you sell them? Who do you call? Well, I call Johnny Dury at Dury's Guns. Whether you're selling 1 gun or 500, they'll tell you what it's worth and write you a check. Simple, quick, easy, fair. I trust Dury's Guns. Give them a call. Dury'sGuns.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. Shopguntalk.com.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
For 25 years, Crimson Trace has led the industry in laser and light technology and customer service. Now, Crimson Trace is proud to offer electronic sights and rifle scopes for tactical, target, and hunting applications, with the same Crimson Trace offer of free batteries for life on all products. The new rifle scope line is also backed by an unconditional lifetime warranty from the brand that you have trusted for over 2 decades. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
All right, we're talking with Julie Golob. It's JuliegOlob, juliegolob.com, and she has the Aiming to Cure JM effort there. Take a look at that, and if you can toss some dollars, like $23 is what we're looking for, right? Or more, of course, Julie, if they want to.
Absolutely. We'll take more.
Yeah, we'll always take more. Exactly right. All right, in your career of shooting, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, she's a speed shooter, she's shooting all these automatics, but I have seen you rock a revolver before. Revolvers are fun.
I do love a good wheel gun. You know what, Tom? I think, like, whenever I'm really struggling with trigger control and just really the fundamentals of shooting, I grab one of my revolvers and hit the range with it, because there's nothing that teaches you more about trigger control than shooting a revolver.
Why is that? How does that work?
Well, you have to work so hard to be smooth, even with the best revolver trigger, especially if you're shooting double action, because you really have to make sure that you're letting the sights do that little wiggle that they all do, the arc of movement on the target, and then pressing the trigger nice and straight and smoothly back to the rear. At any point in time, you dip the fingers, the hands, anything, the sights. You're going to see that impact on the target not go where you want it to be. So, just learning how to pull a trigger smoothly, the revolver is such a great tool for that.
Well, yeah, a double-action revolver trigger pull, I'm just thinking about what you're saying there. It is a much longer pull. You have many more opportunities to screw it up as the path comes backwards, right? And you're concentrating on sights, but also feeling this trigger pull, and there is a tendency to want to snatch it at the end of a double-action trigger pull, isn't there?
Absolutely. And the other thing that a revolver trigger teaches you is, so much of what we do with modern guns, striker-fired guns, even a little bit with the 1911s, we're talking about trigger reset all the time.
Right.
You cannot.
It won't go off if you don't reset it.
Will not. Exactly. And you have to let it do its thing. So trigger freeze on a revolver is a really hard thing to do. But it's, short stroking that trigger not only causes that cylinder to move and skip around, it can be, a bad thing for no matter if you're target shooting or, shooting when you absolutely need to for self-defense.
That's a good point. The other thing is, and you mentioned self-defense, occasionally I'll have people say, well, I like to carry a revolver for self-defense. And my answer to that is, there's nothing wrong with that as long as you know how to use it.
Absolutely. It's one of those things that, you obviously need to practice with it. And if it's something that you feel comfortable and confident with, that's great. Revolvers are also very comfortable to carry. They don't have those round, those sharp corners.
Yeah, they're all rounded.
Exactly. And so especially for long days, revolver's a really nice thing to carry.
Interesting, And the other thing that's interesting is particularly younger shooters, they look at that and go, "Oh, geez, old people guns." And you're going, and then if you can actually get them to go out and shoot one, they kind of go, "Huh, that's kind of fun." It's like they don't even want to admit that it's fun, but that's fun.
It's funny because, and I don't have any scientific market research to back this up, but it's surprising to me that the number of young millennials who are appreciating the revolver and other steel frame pistols like the 1911, they want that classic. All their life they've been given something plastic and, easy to use, and here's something easy for you. And they look to these types of firearms, especially revolvers and 1911s, as like, no, this is something that I want. This is something that I can appreciate and take care of.
And I know when you shoot as fast as you do, you are sometimes actually waiting for the action of the gun, which means you are feeling the action of the gun. You're so in tune with this gun. There is this is where I'm going with this. There's such a different feel when you shoot an all metal or all steel gun or shoot a revolver as opposed to a polymer gun. And I don't know if it's like more substantial or you're more connected to it. I don't know what it is, but it's very different, isn't it?
It is, and I think it all comes down to, internal mechanics that you end up feeling and perceiving on the outside that makes these guns, really different to shoot for a lot of people.
When you start somebody out, and you've started a lot of people in shooting, introduced them, what handgun do you like to put in their hands to start people out?
Today, the 9mm Shield Easy or the Easy in 380, depending on who's shooting. Yeah, absolutely. I find that it is so simple and easy for them to use. It takes away all of the things that make, semi-autos uncomfortable or difficult to manipulate, and just makes it simple and easy, as in the name. If they really want, if they're really, new beginners, something like a 617 revolver is really great too, because one, it's a 22, and it's simple, it's easy to use. They don't have to push anything, they don't have to do anything with it. They can just get out there. But it just depends on their comfort level, what they want to do. Oftentimes we say, "Oh, this is what we're going to tell you to shoot," right? But you also need to listen to what they want as well to make the range time session fun.
So, there's not a bad idea to bring several guns out, let them try some, and if there's one they go, "I really like this one," okay, let's spend a little time on that one, then maybe we'll move to the others.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, Julie, thank you for spending time with us. I very much appreciate it. I wish you great success on the fundraising effort, and we send nothing but good wishes to you and your family.
I so appreciate it, and thank you for the opportunity to let me share it.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to send people right now, Julie Golob, JuliegGolob.com/ let me make sure I get this right. It is CureJM /CureJM. All right. Let's see here. George has been on hold for a little while here. Line 4 out of Oklahoma. Hey, George, thank you for your patience. What you got there?
I've got the new 22 TCM 9R.
22 TCM 9R. What is that?
That is the Rock Island, and it's a combination. It comes with the 22 TCM and also the 9mm barrel.
Huh.
And to let you know how I came about this is,
right.
Of course, I'm 82 years old, and I don't have the hand strength that I once had as a young lad.
Right.
And I told my son 3 or 4 months ago, I said, I asked my son, does Rock Island have 9mm? Because I want to stay with the 1911. I love the 1911.
Okay.
And he said, "Well, Ed, let me check around." And he found this 22 TCM 9R.
Uh-huh.
And then he bought one.
He sold himself.
Yeah. And so, And I guess after a couple of weeks, he got to feeling bad about it, so he bought me one.
and let me just tell you that the 22 TCM cartridge, we're looking at a 2,000 foot per second bullet here.
Yeah.
It is, but it's also a 22 caliber bullet, so there's got to be like hardly any recoil at all, I wouldn't think.
Oh, it is it's sweet. It just, when we got them, we first set them up at 9mm.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the range, and of course everything functioned just, as you would expect a Rock Island.
And I'm a huge fan of 1911s and 9mm. Such a sweet shooting gun.
Oh yes, and it is, And we had fun with that, and like I say, everything worked just great. And so then we changed the barrels out, and of course when we had it, set up at 9mm, well, of course, you 7 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber,
right?
And like I say, everything worked fine. So we changed over to the 22,
right.
and it uses the same magazine.
Okay.
And so we loaded up, and it wouldn't cycle.
Mm.
And
I don't have much time, so tell me what happened here, because I've got very little time left here, George.
Okay. Well, like I say, in 9mm, the magazine holds 7,
mm-hmm.
and in 22 TCM, you can get 8 in the magazine.
Oh, okay.
And with 8 in the magazine, it will not cycle.
So you got to go back and drop it down, download it to 7. So give me the one-word answer. How does this thing shoot?
Sweet. It just,
just sweet. I mean, we're going to take, and I hate to do it, man, but the music's rolling on top of me, and I appreciate that. That is a great range report. Okay, we got the Rock Island 22 TCM 9R. Pretty cool. What have you been shooting? Give us a holler. 866 Talk Gun. This is Gun Talk.
What's so hard to understand about shall not be infringed? Here's Tom.
All right, welcome back. Tom Gresham, 866 Talk Gun. Get you in here. It's Gun Talk. We're going to be talking about guns for a while now. If you'd like to be a part of that, give me a holler. If you don't like guns, by all means, give me a holler. Let me know what's going on. Why? How do you not like inanimate objects? Well, I'd like to know the story, okay? I'll give you the floor. 866 Talk Gun. Give me a holler. Let's see. Oh, this study came out by the Department of Justice, the United States Department of Justice. You've heard the phrase gun show loophole. Gun show loophole. We have to close the loophole for those gun shows, because that's where the criminals go to get their guns. Really? Okay. Well, the Department of Justice questioned people who are in jails and prisons, state and federal prisoners. Where do they get their guns? And when you drill down, you look at gun shows, what percentage of people in prison, what percentage of criminals are getting their guns at gun shows, taking advantage of the gun show loophole. The percentage comes in at 0.8. Yes, that is 0.8% of all prisoners got their guns at a gun show. There is no gun show loophole. The laws at gun shows are the same as the laws outside of gun shows. The laws don't change when you step into a building where there's a gun show. There's no such thing. It is simply another one of the marketing terms come up by that has been created by the gun ban lobby as a way of frightening the public into thinking, oh, we have to do something about that. There's nothing you have to do about gun shows. There are no issues there. Okay? Fair enough. 866 Talk Gun. Danny has called in out of Madison, Alabama on 2. Hey, Danny, welcome to Gun Talk. What you got?
Hey, Tom. Interesting range report. So I have a 5.56 AK.
Oh, yeah?
That I've put a Canis Design Group adapter on so it can run AR-15 mags.
Interesting. Okay, wait. So you got an AK, and it's in 5.56, and then you put an adapter on it so it can run AR mags, which are very plentiful, easy to get, and inexpensive.
Yep.
I have a couple of good friends who are very knowledgeable people who I respect, and they got their AKs in 5.56 as well. What motivated you to do that?
Well, I'd already gone through two 7.62x39 AKs, and I just started thinking to myself, you know what, I kind of want to branch out, do something a little bit different. So I walked into a local gun shop one day and found a Sega, an unconverted Sega Sporter in 5.56, and thought to myself, and I'm going to do a project and I'm going to convert this. And I did. And I even got to the point that I can run it suppressed now. I got a Q Cherry Bomb muzzle brake on it, so I can use their Trash Panda and their Thunder Chicken quick attach suppressor.
Okay, Danny, you know, this is the best example I could think of. You know what the three most expensive words are when you go into the gun store? Might as well.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, yeah, I just figured if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go hard or go home. So I figured I'm going to go ahead and go all out on this.
Oh, gosh. So you're all in on this thing. So how long you had it?
How long have I had it? Shoot. I've had it for about a year. I bought it around Thanksgiving time last year. Let it sit at home. I'm in the National Guard, so I went active for a little bit. And I came back home, and now that I'm back home, I'm just, spending my spare time just working and working on my rifle and all that.
You're having fun, aren't you?
Oh, all the fun.
Why not? Well, that is a great range report. I appreciate that, sir. AKN 5.56. There's a lot to be said for that. I know other people who are doing the same thing. Thank you, Danny. Let's go down to Ken on 4 out of Medford, Oregon. Hey, Ken, you got a range report for us, and what's going on here?
Well, I've got a Marlin 336 in 30-30, and I've had it for a long time. It was passed down to me from my dad. And I've been shooting 150 grain Sierra round nose bullet, reloaded myself, and it's dead on the money. It has a Nikon scope. Well, I started putting together a light target load, so it didn't have quite as much recoil. It was a 180 grain lead bullet with the Trail Boss powder. Well, I started shooting it, and it was shooting low. And it started I'm using the NRA official 100-yard small bore target, and it was dead on with the 150 grain jacketed bullet. Right. Dead center, all over shots in the 10 ring. But when I first shot the lead bullets, they were down in the 5 ring. So I started clicking the scope up, and I was going 2 notches at a time, and it was raising it up, got to the bottom of the 8 ring, and then the next 2 clicks, it jumped to the top of the 8 ring. And I said, what's going on? So I clicked it just 1, and it didn't change, and I clicked it 2, and it went back to the bottom of the 8 ring.
Well, okay. 2 things come to mind right off the bat. One is that, yes, it could be a scope issue, because for the longest time, I never really realized that you could have issues with scopes. They all were just so darn reliable, but occasionally you do. But I want to back up because there's a question that popped into my head. You said with the 180 grain bullet, those are lead bullets?
Yes.
Do you know if and I bet it does your Marlin have a micro groove barrel?
No, it's a 1950 Marlin.
Okay, so it's all right. So it's before the micro grooves. Okay. All right, so you know where I was going with that then. Because, you should not be, you can't really get decent accuracy out of micro groove barrels with lead bullets. Okay. I'm guessing, do you have another scope you could put on there?
Actually, I do.
I would suggest, look, this is not unheard of. In fact, I would offer that it's not like unusual. It doesn't happen a lot, but occasionally you get a scope that just doesn't adjust. There's a lot going on inside of those little micro adjustments inside, and it gets hit by recoil and everything else. And I would suggest a couple of things before you take the scope off, just to try, if you haven't done this. Run the crosshairs up and down like 20 clicks, back and forth a couple of times. Just kind of like cleaning everything out. I know this makes no sense at all, and people who know what they're talking about are going to say, Tom, that makes no sense. I know, but it's kind of like unplugging the computer and plugging it back in. I would run the crosshairs way up and run them back down, count up 20 clicks, count down 20 clicks. Should be go back to roughly the same place. They don't always, but pretty close. Just try that and see if that does anything. And then, if you're not getting anywhere then, I would say try a different scope and see what's going on. And then, contact Nikon and say, hey, guys, this is what's going on, and see if they'll make it right.
Okay, there's one thing that I did try is I went back to my 150 grain jacketed bullet and clicked it back down where it was to 0, and it was right back to 0. So
it's okay where the crosshairs sit for that, but when you try to adjust it to get the 180 grain. Now let me ask you a question: with the 180 grain bullets, are you getting decent groups?
Oh yeah. As far as the vertical line, they're right there, and they're within. I'm shooting 3-shot groups, and they're within the size of a quarter.
Okay, so that's all right. So we've eliminated the rifle as the source of the problem. Yeah, I think you've got a little bit of an issue, but try that deal of running the crosshairs, the elevation way up and then way down and then go back to where it was. See if that does anything for you. If not, I'm thinking maybe a call to Nikon is in order here. But I appreciate you sharing that range report. That's very interesting. And look, keep listening. If anybody has an idea of what else Ken can do, give us a call because we're looking for some help here. The number here is 866-TALK-GUN.
Thompson Center introduces the TC Compass 2 and TC Compass 2 compact hunting rifles, featuring a threaded muzzle and new Generation 2 trigger system with a crisp, light pull for that legendary accuracy in the field. Available in popular calibers, the TC Compass 2 is a feature-rich rifle packed with value, and the adaptability of the TC Compass 2 compact is perfect for a broad range of hunters and shooters. Make the shots that count. Visit tcarms.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
It's probably a really good thing you can't hear the conversations that go on during the break. Appendix carry and all the rest of it. In fact, when we get to Ron in a few minutes, we'll talk about some of those options. Right now, I want to talk to Lou on line 1 out of Montana. Hey, Lou, talk to me.
Good afternoon. I've been shooting about 6 years, and I know it's redundant, but I just can't emphasize enough. It's because it's a perishable skill that if people are going to carry, they need to practice, practice, practice.
Okay, so what motivates this reminder? Did something happen to remind you of this?
No, not at all. It's just that I know that my skills I run about 100 rounds through twice a month. And if I don't stay on that schedule, then my accuracy drops maybe 15%.
Yeah, I would say so. And your speed's going to drop a little bit because you're not handling your gun as much. Let me ask you, do you do dry fire practice?
Oh, absolutely. I do several presses, dry fires, then load and make ready. I go through the whole drill, and I enjoy it. And if people are going to carry, they need to shoot their guns.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm looking up, see if I can find it right. Okay, I found an app like 3 or 4 days ago, out of the blue. I have no connection to this company, okay, so just fair warning. And I think it was like $2 or $2.95 or something. What is this thing called? It's called PAR. And it is basically a shot timer but you can't use a shot timer when you're dry firing, obviously, because you have if your shot timer works when you're dry firing, you left a round in your gun. So let's get away from that. What this does, and I've been playing with this a little bit, and it basically sets up a par time, and you can say, okay, I want it to be 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds. With a random delay, you hit it, and then when the beep goes off, then in 1.5 seconds you get another beep, which means you can draw and dry fire and see if you're reaching that 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds or whatever you set up for your par time. And for $3 on my iPhone for an app, I thought that's not a bad way to kind of work on some things for my dry firing. So I've been working on that. I just kind of throw that thing out for whatever it's worth. As I say, I have no connection with these guys.
And that's worth exploring, absolutely. So it's PAR?
PAR, like a par time. What is the par time on this deal? So, yeah, I mean, like I say, for $3, I thought, even if it was awful, I'm only out $3. And so I think you can actually get your money back on them. But, who cares?
That's a great reference, and I will certainly look it up. Your show is terrific, and the way you emphasize safety is to be complimented.
Well, thank you, because I mean, we start with that. Look, nothing we do with guns, if it's not safe, don't do it. I mean, it really is as simple as that, because this stuff it's dangerous. You can get hurt, you can get killed, you can hurt somebody else, and so it's muzzle control and practice and practice and practice. So you're exactly right. And yeah, shooting is a perishable skill. Basically, everything is a perishable skill, but I don't know why people don't get that. And thank you for your call. I appreciate that. It's a great reminder for all of us. I remember, I don't know where it was, Thunder Ranch or Gunsight or someplace. They said, here's the deal. When you finish this class, your skills will be at 100% of wherever they are. And the next week, they're going to be like at 99 or 98%. And each week after that, it's going to go down. And so if you don't go back and get training, as opposed to practice, okay, and practice ramps you back up, but training is a different thing. But if you're not practicing and you're not training, then, you may be running at 90% or 85% or 80% after a year if you're not actually out there shooting. I like the idea of trying to run 100 rounds through your gun every 2 weeks. I know a lot of people think that's a lot of shooting. Yeah, it is, but it's also a lot of fun. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see if we can get Ron in here out of Surprise, Arizona on 2. Hey, Ron, Smart Carry. I haven't heard about Smart Carry in a little while.
Well, I just got my third new improved.
Okay. Now, Jim, you may know that Jim here in the studio is a big fan of Smart Carry. For those who don't know, think of a elastic strap with a pouch in the front and almost jock strap type, but without the straps you step through, and it goes underneath inside of your pants, and the gun is right in the front. How am I doing with that description?
Perfect.
Okay, because I remember Charlie Parrott at Smart Carry. So this is your third one. Now, you said is improved. What did they do to it?
They added a plastic loop so that you run your strap through that, and then allows you to get a much tighter, secure fit. And
this is really great for deep concealment. I mean, nobody will ever know you're carrying when you're using the Smart Carry.
That's why I do it.
Yeah, and I mean, as people say, I carry where maybe I don't feel comfortable with anybody knowing or whatever else. And if you practice, they're pretty fast. I don't think they're as fast as appendix carry, but they're pretty darn fast, and people can take a look at that, because if you're looking for something, well, God, I have to wear like regular clothes, and I can't wear a regular holster. Smart Carry is not a bad way to go, so I appreciate that. Ron, look, thank you for the heads up on that. I hadn't had a chance to chat about Smart Carry in a while. It's a good concept. I've actually used it, and you got to practice with it. You got to kind of get comfortable with it. But it's absolutely a decent option. You carry, what do you do when you need deep concealment? All right, back with you. 866 Talk Gun, or just Tom Talk Gun. That's easy enough for you to get in here. A lot of things going on in the news. Obviously, we had the South Carolina primary. Joe Biden comes out on top on that one. We're headed towards Super Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. It's kind of like all the marbles on that day. That's when we're going to actually find out if Michael Bloomberg's millions, hundreds of millions, I just heard a number that he may have passed $600 million in spending. He's scheduled to have 2,400 events tomorrow. I'm not making it up. Yeah, that's the real number, 2,400 events around the country. Because he has not been on the ballot anywhere yet. And he is on the ballot in all these states for Super Tuesday. So he's been running all these commercials and having all these events in these states, betting on a big turnout, a big benefit from Super Tuesday. So the question is going to be, and nobody knows, that's what I think is making everybody nervous, all the political people, is can he be effective by just buying advertising? And now, by advertising, you got to understand, we're not just talking about buying TV commercials, because that's a lot of it, but ads on social media and paying people to post favorable things about him on social media. So when you see influencers, these online digital influencers who are saying nice things about Michael Bloomberg, they're being paid to do that. And when people are posting comments that are good, good, warm, fuzzy things about Michael Bloomberg, a lot of them are being paid to do that because he has the money. He has unlimited money. You can't even imagine how much money it is. So we're about to find out. And look, if you're a political junkie, this is fascinating. We're about to find out if the gun ban czar, the godfather of gun bans in America, Michael Bloomberg, can, in fact, buy his way into the nomination. I would love to tell you I don't think he can, but I don't know. Because I know the power of that much money in a marketplace. And if you're not in one of those states, you don't really understand how much money he's been pouring in. So we'll see. I mean, Tuesday night, we'll have a pretty good idea. Right now, it's Bernie and Biden, maybe Bloomberg. You got to remember, here's the deal. If you're into guns, you know the word Bloomberg, and you know that he is the anti-gun antichrist, if you will. But most of the country doesn't know Bloomberg from Bloomingdale's. And so all they're going to know about him, and most of the people do not tune into Fox News or CNN. They're not political junkies. They're just going about their lives. But they're seeing all these messages about Bloomberg. And so all they're going to know about him is what's in his commercials, what's in his online presence, his digital presence. And he has staked out the territory of being the reasonable one. He's the reasonable one. Yeah, bans sodas, bans sugar, bans... He's an elitist, of course, clearly. Comes across that way, not a very likable person from people I know who know him. And that sure come across on the debates. So we'll find out. It's going to be fascinating. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping that the population is smarter than that, but we shall see. Hey, when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about carrying guns. Is that your way of life? And if it is, how'd you get there? And what does it mean to be someone who carries every single day? Our number here is 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham.